Ignorant, we gon' bring that racket like it's Wimbledon. Discipline, but yet to find anyone equivalent. Ain't no podcast similar, now you won't find no synonyms. Be produced by Q Smith, sound like it's by Timberland. JBB in charge, EG set the bar. Cool be sipping water tree, and Turk gon' lay the law. Jokes may go too far, but that's just who we are. Prolific, so gifted, words that have your soul lifted. So consistent, yet so different. Ain't nobody copy that lane. Carry that torch, heat up the game. Ain't nobody got that flame. Different, different. Man, this intro different. Man, this intro ignorant. God damn.
And what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? You know what day it is, and you know what time it is. Time for another rendition edition of the one and only D1 Ignant University podcast. I'm your host with the most, eating toast, he and ghost, Jay Brown, coming to you semi-live from the grandest prairie of them all. In case you didn't know, it is it's a bittersweet time for your boy. And you all know something is coming to an end very, very soon. Like within the next 72 hours, something we never thought would be here is coming. And another part we never thought would end, it's over. Scully, do you know what I'm talking about?
This nigga turning 30.
It's the end of your boy's 20s.
Your ass is old.
Hey, hold on. How we already?
Hell, even Courtney said Joe.
Already?
Nah, you know it's funny. Actually, dead ass serious story. Because I am 30. So welcome to the club, first of all. Secondly, your ass is old. But no, the 30 is not that old, people. I need us.
Because your ass is old.
I need us as the people to understand 30 is not old. And I wish y'all would stop coming to me with backhanded compliments. You know how many times I had somebody else tell me not today, like a couple of days ago, I told them, I'm 30. And she was like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I'm 30. She was like, you look amazing. Nigga, 30 is not that old. Y'all acting like I said 90.
That's when you're like, respectable young lady.
First of all, thank you, because I work out every day. But secondly, like, why do y'all keep saying that? Even at work, I be telling people I'm 30, and they're like, no, I thought you were 23. 30 is not that old.
Did you just call me a child? You just called me a child.
I had a 25-year-old tell me, you look amazing for 30. I'm like, what does that mean?
When someone tells you, like, first of all, we were in high school at the same time. Stop.
At the same time. Stop. Well, maybe not. Not if she's 25, she was not. Yeah, I mean, I was getting ready.
Yes, but she just missed you.
Just missed it. Yeah. Like, bro, you're not that much younger than me. Like, yo, why do people do that?
Anyway, I forgot to tell y'all. Captain Scully.
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy, Captain Scully, a.k.a. Skullington, Skullmichael Jackson, the Cape of the Skull Cap, Scully Parton today.
Scully Parton. While we're here,
we're lit.
We're saying a real RIP to the myth, the legend of Dolly Parton, one of the top tier human beings ever. And I'm here to say she is a perfect example of why you don't need to be a billionaire. Because Dolly absolutely, positively had every opportunity in the world to be said billionaire. But instead, she was closer to more of a 500 millionaire because she used her money for good to deliver hundreds of thousands of books for the last decade or so across America to help children read.
I mean, this woman was top tier in every sense, and she looked good even all the way up until 80. I didn't even realize she was 80. That's why it was so shocking.
Had no idea she was 80, which is one of those, I think 80 is the age where it's not sad that you died, because it's like at 80, you've lived a full life. That's
right.
That's
80 and up is like you've been around the block. That being said, there's some folks close to me who are about to be 80. God forbid.
No, they're not allowed.
Right.
I
But
will snatch you from the chains of the Grim Reaper, and he will catch its
exactly.
fate.
But I will say Dolly Parton also. Two things. I hope that Dirty Skeezer Jolene is happy.
I hope. I'm gonna let y'all know. For everyone out there who's watching, whose name may be Jolene, you are not safe.
You're in danger. Like,
You're
yeah,
in danger. I'm let y'all know everyone there. Your name is Jolene. I'm sorry. The fade must be caught. The
you're right.
fade
Exactly.
must be caught.
So that was that. Rest in peace, Dolly Parton.
Everyone, let's take off from our 9 to 5s. We is what she would have wanted. It's what she would have wanted. But anyway, you ready to get in the show? Start
Yes,
talking.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, in case y'all have been living under a sports rock for the last couple years of the NCAA and this and you and NIL and the transfer portal and all the other madness, some more bullshit has happened. Daquan Wright will be heading back to LSU after getting waived from the NFL. So you tell me this man has been a pro football player for the better part of the last 2 to 3 months, and he's going back to college.
Not only has he been a pro, he played for two teams.
Two.
He played for two NFL teams in the same summer. Got cut and immediately, like, is it not embarrassing? Like, is there
Why?
no shame? Like, I don't care about money at this point. Is there no shame in being like, yeah, fuck the NFL. I'm going back to beat up on 18 and 19-year-olds.
While I'm 25, you know what's a lost art? What we're teaching all of these kids, we're teaching them that you don't have to take an L. But I'm sorry to tell you, the first letter in life is L.
And
Sometimes you gotta man up and take that L.
and the last letter in NFL
And the
is L.
last letter, just dog. Look, you had a semi successful college career. You just weren't cut out for the pros. It happens. It's cool.
At least not yet. Who's to say that there are a lot of things that we see stuff happen all the time. Like, the other thing is two things to make clear. This is not the first. This is the first NFL player to do it, but this is not the first college
Not the first
athlete.
athlete. No,
We
and
we
it's
were seeing it.
stupid.
We were seeing it all throughout college basketball, and we all felt like we were holding our breaths, and it was a matter of time before it happened in the league. And naturally, it would happen with Lane bitch ass Kiffin.
Of course, it's Lane fucking Kiffin. Not to mention, he had it in his contract agreement that if I get cut, waived, or whatever, I can come back. Why are we letting this happen? Who said this was
Well, we're not
okay?
actually. I don't know if you saw today
I did.
that
I
the SEC immediately said, "Go to hell, Lane
But
Kiffin."
no, the SEC did not immediately say go to hell. The Big Ten
Oh yeah,
instantly
you're
said,
right. You're right.
nah, we ain't doing this. And then the SEC was like, here, nigga, damn. And yeah,
The
always
Big Ten
asking
and
for
ACC first did it, then the SEC, and then the Pac-12, the new Pac-12,
the new
and
practice.
the Big 12 have all followed.
But why? Why was this even a rule? How did we get to this point?
The thing is, like, this has been a rule in the NFL specifically forever. Like, once you sign with an agent, once you declare for the draft, that's it.
That's it. You're done.
You're done. Basketball kind of adjusted it where they were like, okay, you as long as you don't sign an agent, you can come back. They started doing that even before NIL. Football, it was always like, oh yeah, you're done once you declare.
Once you declare, you're out.
Now, the one thing I will say, Lane Kiffin mentioned this, and obviously, like, it's Lane Kiffin, whatever, but like, I guess there is some merit to this. Daquan Wright specifically is a part of the class of 2022, the recruiting class of 2022, which, for those who haven't been following this stuff, recently was granted another year of eligibility by some judge somewhere in like federal court. And so there are a bunch of 2022 folks who are doing this, but then there are people like Daquan Wright who declared before this ruling came down, and so they filed a lawsuit, and then some judge in Louisiana, who's probably
Um,
an LSU fan,
mhm.
decided, hey, let's put a temporary restraining order on the NCAA because everybody's doing that at this point. Trinidad Chambliss did it for Ole Miss. People are doing it. This judge is like, hey, okay, cool. Let's do this. And then Daquan Wright was like, all right, bet. This was my coach at Ole Miss. Now he's at LSU. I'm going to LSU if I get cut. Nigga. And it's like they're not even going for class. Like niggas are not
No,
even pretending to be student athletes. They are strictly going to play football.
not even partially pretending. And look, I have no sympathy for them. Because look, at any point during your collegiate career, all you have to do is fill out this little form and you can send your tape to whatever to the NFL and for free without losing any eligibility or nothing, they will send you a prediction of where you would be drafted if you were to come out at that very moment. And when I tell you every NCAA player has access to this, whether the smallest D3 you can think of, or the University of Texas, or Miami, or Ohio State, or whatever, they all have access to it. Look, man, I'm sorry to tell you, if we've gone through 3 to 4 years of college football, or some cases 5 to 6 years of college football, and your draft stock has not risen, you are still an eighth round pick or an undrafted free agent, hey, be happy you made it to training camp. Be happy you made it this far. Because when did Daquan Wright get waived? I believe it was Monday.
It was
Monday or
Monday.
Tuesday. Monday or
Yes.
Tuesday. This is the final preseason game. You get further. He got further than 90% of guys who ever have the opportunity to even practice on an NFL field gets.
Even though he never played it down in the preseason, he played for two different NFL, or he suited up and signed for two different NFL teams because he went undrafted, went to Philadelphia, then got, I think, traded to Cleveland, or maybe might have gotten cut and Cleveland signed him. I can't remember. And then he went to Cleveland, and he was dealing with some kind of injury that prevented him from playing in either one of their preseason games.
Mhm.
And then they cut him. And I think the ruling came down before they cut him, but the ruling happens, and then he gets cut, and he wasn't the first one. Obviously, Lane Kiffin signed another guy as well, Xavier something, who's like an offensive lineman, which that is even crazier because offensive lineman, if there's any position where it's like, bro, you're 25 beating up on 19-year-olds, offensive
Or
lineman
if it's anywhere where it's apparent, it's in the trenches.
is in the trenches. That is the one. That's the place where it is going to show. If you're 25 out there bulldozing a 19-year-old freshman defensive end. Now, granted, if said defensive end is somebody like Jadeveon Clowney or Will Anderson, you know, different. But even still, like
But
this is ridiculous.
also football is a game where being bigger, faster, and stronger is probably the most beneficial of any sport in the world.
Right.
At 24 through 26,
That's your
you are
prime athletically.
you are bigger, faster, and stronger than anyone who should be on a college football field. I remember they used to call Quan Cosby grandpa at Texas because he went to go play minor league baseball and he came back and Quan was 22.
Brother Brandon Whedon is who I think of, where he
Because Brandon
was
Whedon was like 25 when
28
he was 28 when they drafted him at Oklahoma State.
or 26 maybe actually, because he was like that. He played, I think, pro baseball and might have even been in the army for a little bit. Came back, had some eligibility left because baseball is different. Had some eligibility left, and was like, all right, bet I'm gonna go to Oklahoma State. And that was when he had that year that he had at Oklahoma State. And we all kind of should have known when he got drafted that it wasn't going to work out because a 26 or 27-year-old rookie in Cleveland at that.
First of all, Cleveland is where we could have stopped it.
Cleveland is where we can stop. It was in
And,
Cleveland.
and I believe he was throwing to Justin Blackman.
He was throwing to Justin Blackman, so of course his stats are going to look inflated
That
against
always helps.
That always helps. At a time when the Big 12, that was right around the beginning of like the offensive boom in the Big 12 when like nobody
Hmm.
played defense and niggas was putting up basketball scores for like the next 5 or 6 years after that.
Exactly.
So
Just
it just
and,
all looked awful.
and why is baseball like that? Why do we allow grown ass men because they decided to go play another sport? They get to come back and again beat on teenagers.
Yeah, baseball. There's a reason for it. I can't remember exactly, but
It,
baseball has like the minor leagues where a bunch of teenagers are. But my thing is, if we're doing this in the NFL, in college football specifically, because it's different than basketball, because at least basketball has one and done. College football, if we're going to say that grown ass men can play with teenagers, we might as well make the NFL one and done, because that's what we're saying at this point. Is that
that's 100.
they are on equal footing to 25 and 26 year olds. You got 7 and 8 and 9 year guys playing college football now. You got every now and then we see this 47-year-old is living out his dream, and it used to be inspirational. Now it's just like, okay, this is actually where we're headed. If we're doing this now, then what is stopping us from making the NFL 1-on-1? Maurice Claret tried it already and it didn't work. But like at this point, what is to stop a 19-year-old who's built like Aaron Donald from being like, all right, bet we're already playing against 25-year-olds anyway.
I might as well go make money off of it.
Like,
But
even though you
but
can make more money in college in
and
some
that
cases.
and
But
that kind of brings me to
yeah,
something I heard on ESPN. I don't remember if it was Ryan Clark, but I remember Ryan Clark was there when it happened. So essentially, we have to think about the guys who are going back to college or wanting to go back to college to say, I make more money there. How long is it going to be before NFL players who are like established and on like rookie deals say, hey, whoa, 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 I was a first round, second round pick. Why was I making more money at LSU? Well, why was
well,
I making more on the table money? Not, we can't count under the table money because that's a whole
right,
different
right.
ballgame. But why was I making more at LSU? Why was I making more at Ohio State?
That already is happening, and that's part of why they stepped in.
But I'm
Is
talking
because they
about
saw this.
but I'm talking about actual guys on the roster, not, borderline guys like Daquan Wright. No disrespect to him, but it
Right.
was a toss up whether he was going to make the
The
roster.
roster. Yeah.
I'm talking about a guy maybe like Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love,
Oh,
who's
yeah.
playing running back, a position who historically
Although
doesn't have longevity.
Although I will say Jeremiah Love is in a rare position where he's already making more money than Jameer Gibbs and
I
Jonathan
mean,
Taylor.
yes, he is making. I'm just saying, the guy in that
No,
position.
no, I get what you're saying. No, I'm just being a head ass. But I get you. What I think the NCAA saw that possibility, and that's why the individual leagues were like, "Oh no, 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 no,
Mm-mm.
no.
You ain't come back to that.
You're not. We're not. Don't you dare think about it," because they knew that was the next step. That was the next logical step, and I think the NFL, I think their contracts are a little bit different. So like it probably wouldn't have worked with them. But like in the NBA, we were seeing that. Like with all those niggas that were coming in, like niggas were playing in the summer league. Or like were playing a year or two as rookies. Like I forgot the guy's name that went to UCLA. And like he's like, oh yeah, I played 1 or 2 years, or like suited up. They're trying to use the loopholes. They're like, oh, he suited up. He didn't actually play. Shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm. And then you
Them
get
checks cashed.
that Calipari shit of like, I remember when old dude came back to Arkansas, but then when it comes to a guy like Calipari, it is solely his job to win. It's not his job to be moral. It's not his job to be a stickler for the rules. His
Although
job.
Calipari has been one of those that have been like, oh, but like you're still gonna have guys like me. The guys like you. Here's the thing that nobody is talking about. Not nobody, but here's the thing that has been talked about that I wasn't even thinking about really, and we see it in basketball a little bit more. But for example, look at St. John's. Look at what's the guy's name at St. John's? Patino. He said he's probably never going to recruit high
A
school
high school
freshmen
kid
again.
again. Because
You
why?
know, because why exactly? And that we were seeing that in basketball in particular, which is much harder because you only have 5 roster starters, and then you probably only have like 10 or 15 roster spots.
Period. And
Period.
that's on an empty roster.
So it was really going to be tough in college basketball with this. But high school freshmen, unless you're just undeniable, like a 5-star, just undeniable, those 2 and 3 stars, you might as well go to JUCO or go to the D2 level, basically like a farm system, put yourself on tape, and then in a year when you're in the transfer portal, then they'll call you. Because high school freshmen are the ones who are going to get cut out of this. Because now basically is like semi-pro, where these coaches are coming in here with these asinine budgets, like what the one Lane Kiffin has, for example, and you're expected to win immediately, and if not immediately, within the next 2 or 3 years. And that means there's no time to develop 18-year-old wet behind the ears Johnny whoever from some little small town in Texas when there's a 4th-year quarterback just sitting in the portal waiting for an opportunity.
It is exactly like that. There's no more room to give a kid a year or two to sit. There's no more
of that. Yeah.
There's no more patience with the players because they can just say, well, I was better than this guy who started for the last 3 years. I don't know how you got picked for me, so I'm gonna go to the next school. And I'm like, what's the point of this? I've been seeing teams get players to say go whatever their team rivals are. So like Ohio State guy, they're like, "Can I get a go Big Blue?" And they're like, "Nah." And I'm just thinking,
you don't you
to 3 schools. You don't have no rivalries. You ain't got no loyalties.
Nigga, you went to North Dakota State. You don't know nothing about Michigan and Ohio State.
First of all, you went
unless you're from the area.
You started with North Dakota State, then you went to Western Michigan, and then you ended up at Michigan. What do you know about loyalty and rivalries?
Right.
What do you know about hatred when you've never been?
The only thing you hate is staying in one place.
You ain't been there long enough to hate nothing.
Right.
What do you know about this? And that's what college sports comes into.
The only school that seems to have common sense, which is crazy, that these are the good guys, are Notre Dame. Do you understand how bad of what this timeline we're in, where Notre Dame are the voice of reason, or fucking Kirby Smart and Georgia are the voice of reason, where they're like, look, Notre Dame specifically because of their athletic. Notre Dame is one of the few schools where like you actually gotta have good grades to transfer into Notre Dame. They don't just take anybody. Like
a dude like Jeremiah Love, I remember his interview where they said, yeah, after a big win, you think it's like the movies and we're going out in the party. We're like, no. I'm like, yeah, it's cool to wear the big gold dome and see touchdown Jesus. After the game, campus is dead. People are back in their dorms. They're studying because at a school like this is what you got to do.
You actually got to go to class. So they have said they're not taking no transfers this late into the year because it's like academically speaking, if class starts on Monday and you're just now getting cut from the NFL in this particular case, or you're just hopping in the portal, you're not gonna. First of all, you're not gonna be able to go to class because all the classes are loaded. And then secondly, there's really no way that you're going to just jump on the field at a school that you ain't been to all summer camp and think you're just going to come in and just no. It just doesn't make sense logistically.
There's no way.
There's still like the athletic part of it or the student part of it.
And all this being said, this all still comes down to NCAA. You love the slave model and treating athletes like bitches for the last 100 years. So now, when dumb shit like this happens,
you get to sit in.
You have no say. You get to sit and watch like the good cuck you always were.
Just watch Rome burn because you didn't do what you were supposed to do years ago.
You are the reason that there is war in Ba Sing Se.
Mm-hmm.
You. Anyway, we're going to get back to another war battle, competition, which was never really there, Deshaun Watson has been named the starter for the Cleveland Browns. What does that even mean? What's the point of this?
This is gonna be the nastiest tank job in NFL history. That's what this means. This is about to be the most disgusting and just flagrant tanking job we have ever seen in life. And it's so sad because that Cleveland roster actually, unlike previous, there have been some years where Cleveland is horrible on paper and off. You know, this Cleveland roster is one of the low key better rosters of young talent in the NFL coming up on the rise. And they know that, which means that the only thing that they are looking for left at this point is a quarterback because they've got everything else. You look at every level of that defense, even without Myles Garrett, every level of that defense is
Because it's
excellent.
like Jared Verse is some slouch.
Like Jared Verse is a two-time All-Pro. Like
Year 3.
in year three, you have Carson Schlesinger, who was your defensive rookie of the year at linebacker. You have one of the best secondaries in football with Denzel Ward
The award.
and like Greg Newsome back there, and like somebody else that's over there. And then that's just on the defense. On offense, you have Quinshawn Judkins, who runs incredibly well when he's healthy. You have the dude 44 that made the Pro Bowl. You have Concepcion, who you just drafted at receiver, who could be promising. You got a lot of pieces. The only thing you don't have is a quarterback. And I'm sorry, as much as I love Shador, even if he would have gotten the job, I think it would have been an uphill battle this year. And it's just too many quarterbacks coming out next year, whether it's Dante Moore, whether it's Arch Manning, whether it's Lenore Sellers, Trinidad Chambliss. Like, this is one of the deeper quarterback classes in a couple of years. Cleveland knows that. We know that. And then on top of all of that, Deshaun Watson also has a very big price tag on his head, and they at some point need to get something out of it.
All this is a money game.
Business decision is all this
Deshaun
was.
Watson had the worst contract and the worst trade in the history of football and arguably pro sports. The Luka one is up there. The Luka one is up there, but you have a valid argument for Deshaun Watson being worse.
The Luka one is up there only because it's one sided. Deshaun Watson literally has been awful.
It's been awful. He hadn't even been playing enough to try to make bang for your buck.
This man has not played a football game since 2024.
And when he has played, he has not been good. But it's a money thing. You paid him that much. You got to see some return on your investment. But on the other side, I need to talk about Shador for a second. I do need to talk about Shador. Why is he important? Why do we keep pretending like this dude drafted in a 7th round? Sixth round is not being treated like every other 6th rounder ever. Look, I get it. You love Deion Sanders. You think Shador did a great job at Colorado and Jackson State. No, I'm not here to deny that.
But, I am.
Yeah, whatever.
Jackson State. He needs to have his jersey retired at Jackson State. He was incredible there. Colorado, different story.
Colorado, absolutely different story. I agree with that. Also, look, he hasn't played well either. Whether you want to argue he's played better than Watson,
the bar is in hell.
Cool, that's saying a lot. But first of all, I think what we're all forgetting is he's guaranteed to be the number 2. He's guaranteed to be the backup. We stopped talking about Dylan Gabriel, who, by the way, had a better college career on a higher scale and actually won things. And he got taken completely out of the conversation. I'm not saying I was rooting for Dylan Gabriel one way or the other, but the fact that Shador is still being treated as a serviceable backup in this league, he's going into year 2, and I'm not saying he won't be a starter in this league. I'm not saying he won't eventually get to stardom. Oh no, but we're acting like he's been mistreated, run amok, led astray, bamboozled, Smeckledorfed. All he did was get treated like a 6th rounder, and he's not playing much better than one. But guess what? He's still employed in this league. So what are
Yeah.
we arguing about? And plus, it's Cleveland.
Yep.
You want to name me the quarterbacks who were successful in Cleveland over the last 30 years? It's a short list. Let me do it for you. Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield.
Joe Flacco as well, which is insane.
Okay, Joe Flacco. But also,
It's like old
Baker
ass Joe
Mayfield
Flacco.
one time. Baker Mayfield one time. Who, by the way, is fighting to get another contract for a team who's also not fully sold on him. So again, we just talked about it in the last section that Cleveland is where quarterbacks go to die. We just talked about Brandon Whedon. Now, had Brandon Whedon not been 28,
He still would have been asked.
he
It's,
probably would have gotten another shot somewhere in this league, being a backup or on a team that didn't have much to work with.
he did technically, actually. He ended up with the Houston Texans. He played like he started 1 or 2 games when they were good. Well, they're good now, but like when Matt Schaub was there and like they were making like a playoff run and a bunch of guys were hurt 1 week, and so he played a game and they ended up losing, but it was only by like 2 points.
Which,
And
which
he
for
like
which for a backup? Hey, if you go in there and you don't get blown out by 20, hey dog, you did it.
you did it. My
You
thing
we asked of you.
my thing with Shador is like you said, yeah, nepotism. I mean, that's really the answer to any question around him. I loved Shador in college, but I am a realist. I know for a fact that some of the conversation around him in the NFL has been very overblown. He's really not as good as y'all think he is, and it's not any disrespect to him. It's just literally like it's the eye test. Like I mean, you go out there and you look, and he's not, at least in Cleveland, an NFL quarterback. Now that being said, this is Cleveland again, and their starting quarterback since 1999 is about as long as I don't even know. So it's not a matter of if he'll get in the games; it's when.
It's
Especially because Deshaun Watson, like we have said, is not only bad at football, he's bad at being a human being,
bad at being a
which is probably even worse. Like the most oblivious lack of self awareness I've ever seen in life. This man, like, have you ever seen a home crowd cheer a man get hurt? Like
and
that's how terrible of a human being he is,
and
who
act
happens to be bad at football.
and then act like he doesn't understand why he's getting booed.
And then you got NFL players coming out here like Miles Garrett's whole ass saying he's done mostly the right thing since he's been here. Nigga,
That's you.
mostly the right thing is doing heavy lifting. That word mostly is doing some insane lifting. Like the
Some
man, I can think about 26 or 27 different reasons to boo him if you know what I'm if you
do
know what
we
I'm talking about.
go down the numbers list again?
Of women.
Because we did before. You know what? I'm gonna do it again. Look, a man of his stature, his fame, and his money. If one or two women accuse you, it can be reasonable that they're lying for money. I think anyone can reasonably say that. Now, once we start getting, hey, 5 or 6 doing
5, 6 is
5, 6,
crazy.
all right, dog, you did one of those.
At least one of them.
You did at least one of them.
10,
Then the
11, the odds
10,
are that
11,
at least 3 of them are
all
telling
right,
the
dog,
truth here.
we starting to get the 2 to 3 range. We get to 20. Come on, man.
26 women are not
There's,
lying.
bro, you ever been in a classroom when we were like little, and I'm talking little, first,
Like
second
kindergarten.
grade,
Yeah,
and
first, second grade.
little Johnny gets in trouble for throwing something across the room, and the whole class is sick and tired of little Johnny bullshit, and all of us, the teacher's
Are
like,
snitching.
who did that? And all of us, like almost in unison, are like,
And then
John,
Johnny's like, they're lying on me. And it's like, Johnny, the whole class is not lying on you.
the whole
That's where we're at right now.
that's
26 of anything is not a lie. I don't give a damn if 25 of them are lying. 26 people are
26.
not lying.
There's no way. So Watson, first of all,
Cut the
Be
crap, first of
thankful
all, bro.
you play football and you don't play basketball. Be thankful. I hope God has forgiven you because these people have not.
He said, yeah.
I'm not here to talk about how you
The
are
thing
with me,
is,
how your relationship with God is. I'm just saying I hope God has forgiven you. The women have not.
because those women in the city have not. And
But you played basketball, you would have been banished to Siberia 5 years ago.
I mean, he plays in Cleveland. It's pretty close.
Yeah, it's not that far off, yeah.
Why? My thing is, Watson already. The checks have cleared, so and he talks like a person who knows the checks have cleared. He
Yes.
clearly has checked out of playing football. He doesn't care about that anymore. I've seen people say that, like, he doesn't care about football anymore. This is just a guy that got paid and he's doesn't care anymore because obviously with everything that's happened, mostly of his own doing, like, he clearly just doesn't care about football anymore. We know that. This is just going to be a miserable season, and I'm sure Cleveland fans are used to it. But like this, there are teams there are Cleveland teams that went 0-16 and they cheered and went and had a parade, and we thought that was the low point of this franchise, and somehow we have hit lower than that.
Hmm.
We have hit to think that 0-16 was not hitting rock bottom. Like,
To
only the
think it
Cleveland
gets
Browns
worse.
than 0-16 in the parade.
Mm,
That's where we
You
are
know,
with the Cleveland Browns right now.
we were always taught in math there's no such thing as a negative percent. And now we're like, are you sure? You positive there's not?
Are
Because
you sure about that?
I can't tell. And you know what? I'm sorry. I'm tired of talking about this. We have a real conversation that got brought up in our DFPN group chat. Shout out to the DFPN. That in case you didn't know, that is our home network, which you're listening to and watching right now. The DFPN, That Feeling Podcast Network. We here, we out here, bunch of different shows, bunch of different topics. Come holler at all of us. But we had a slightly different argument that I've had in my own head. I haven't really verbalized it for a decade now. And I'm here to finally verbalize it to the world. The argument was, is Will Smith a better actor than Denzel Washington? And I'm here to tell you, he is. He absolutely is. I'm gonna let Scully go first because he highly disagrees with me, and I'm gonna tell him why it's bullshit. But go ahead.
Well, no, I didn't say I disagreed. Um,
Mm,
I'm not
it's
saying
not
I agree
twisted.
either. I'm not saying I agree either, because that is a tough one. But what the hell is wrong with y'all? Is this is no? I'm playing. I'm playing. Ooh, Denzel to me is better, but I don't know if it's because the movies that he's done are a little deeper. But like, Will has a hell of a clip though. Like, it's not like Will is. It's not like we're talking about somebody else here. Will Smith is definitely, if we're talking like a black actor Mount Rushmore,
He's
like
on there.
Denzel and Will are both on there. But I feel like Denzel's movies are just a little. They just hit a little different. Like it. Like, first of all, he played Malcolm X.
He did.
Like he played, and
He played Ali.
Will played Ali. So okay, I guess okay, never mind. So you can't. He played in Malcolm X. Well, he played Ali. Okay, shit.
I mean, you're not wrong
He
that
played an angel. Will did too. Oh shit. Um,
you're not wrong when you say that Denzel's roles are a little deeper, but I'm gonna tell you
or a
why.
little more. Maybe not deeper. I'd say a little more iconic. Let's put it that way.
I would say they're just deeper.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why they're deeper. Because Denzel, as great as he is, mind you, I'm not here to say Denzel is not one of the greatest to ever do it. I'm here to tell you there are certain things Denzel can't do that Will thrives at. And the things that Denzel thrives at, Will is still really damn good at.
Like, I'm like, I think
Denzel, Denzel is not funny. Denzel cannot lead a comedy.
that's
Denzel
true.
cannot Denzel cannot lead a rom com. Does Denzel have funny moments? Can he be funny in spurts? Absolutely. No
You
one is
blot it.
denying
You
that.
blot that shit.
You got it. You blocked that. That's alpaca.
That's alpaca. That's a 500,000. And that
Block.
wasn't even meant to be funny.
It wasn't. But you can throw Will Smith in a hitch. Let's not forget the Fresh Prince. He didn't even know how to act. He was just being himself, and you continuously saw throughout the series he was becoming a better actor. Even though the movie itself isn't great, you can see things in like Hancock. Um, all of these are roles Denzel would not even think at. Denzel could not do. Now, yes, they're not all bangers. I'm not here to say they are, but Will Smith can also do. He can also be the action hero. We can't
Which
forget like
is probably a big chunk of his stuff.
Independence Day, I Robot,
Men in Black. I mean, he gave us
Men in
3
Black.
incredible Men in Black movies. 3, because I count the third one. I don't give a
The
damn what
third
nobody
one.
says.
Either way, Denzel couldn't be Men in Black. Now, Denzel could be Tommy Lee Jones.
And he could be Frank Lucas.
But he could not be Will Smith in Men in Black. But on top of all that, could Will Smith do Training Day? Absolutely. Now, do I think he would be as good as Denzel? Absolutely not.
I
But
don't
you
know,
can't,
because Independence Day was
but you can't look at Will Smith do
different
a
idea.
movie
Yeah.
as deep and as heartening and as serious as something like Pursuit of Happiness and think he can't do what Denzel does.
Yeah, I will say Will's versatility, I think, is deeper than Denzel's. Denzel also has given us some incredible characters. Like we said, he played Malcolm X. Like, played that nigga so well, I thought he was Malcolm X.
He was Malcolm X.
He was Malcolm X.
That starving.
You know, Training Day obviously has some of the, like, Denzel's one-liners are incredible. Like, you will
Remember
be
the
playing
Titan.
basketball in Pelican Bay. You
Look,
motherfuckers.
Remember the Titans is my favorite movie of all time. I watched it last
Yes.
week. How many feet are in a mile?
Rest in peace, Hayden Panettiere.
How many? Let me for her. Let me hit that. Remember the Titans real quick. Na 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 na.
Na. Hey, hey, hey.
Goodbye. That scene hit different now.
That scene hit different now.
But anyway,
like you said, how many?
how many feet? 5,280 feet. You pick up this ball and you run every one of them. You're killing me, Pete. You're killing me. And then 20 years later, Will Smith turns around and does Concussion. So I'm just saying.
Concussion wasn't that great, though.
The
movie wasn't, but like
the movie wasn't, but the concept and Will did a damn good job. I know y'all don't like the Nigerian accent, but
tell the truth. Tell the truth. Now he played the hell out of Ali. Played the hell out of Ali.
King Richard? Come on, man. Will Smith is that dude.
Pursuit of Happiness as well.
And let's not forget, you already know my theory that he's the best proven example of all rappers can act.
I don't know. Actually, I'm thinking about it. All rappers can. Well,
Look, I'm not saying all rappers are Denzel level at acting.
No. He's probably the first rapper to become Denzel level.
Hold on. We have some monster actors.
Queen Latifah, I forgot.
Queen Latifah can act her ass off.
Yeah, I forgot about her. Ice Cube
act his ass off. 3 Stacks? Come on, man.
Ice Cube as well has some pretty really
4 Brothers, Ice Cube. LL Cool J is so much of an actor over the since the mid 90s. There are people that don't even know he was a rapper.
Same with Ice-T. Played the hell out of a dirty cop.
Ever since,
because he definitely is a dirty cop. I don't care what nobody say. He be doing some unethical shit in Law and Order.
He's still trying to catch Nino Brown.
It's still attractive.
So I'm just saying, yes,
Okay, you have convinced me. Like I said, it wasn't as far of a
it
thing
wasn't a
between
far
the two of them
leap.
as people would think. But
It's not a far leap when you just give it a look.
you've given me some stuff to think about because, like, yeah, Will Smith's. I'll be forgetting sometimes, and I think he's messed his own reputation up over the last 10 years with this Jada shit.
Hmm.
But people forget. Don't let that fool you. He's still a very good actor.
Yeah, it kind of gives like Antonio Brown of like, hey, we get
Shut
it.
up, type
The
shit. Yeah,
CTE, cool. His Twitter rants, stupid. When AB was on that field in Pittsburgh, there
you
was
understood
no
why they put up with it.
you know you know why Mike Tomlin was like, fuck again.
It's like, damn, I hate to say that, huh? I mean, don't you hate to hear it, huh?
Don't you hate to hear it?
Shit. But then he'd be putting up the numbers he would put up. So it's like,
And then he drop kicks a punter on his way to return a 70-yard kick. Like, damn,
it's just
what
like,
do
what do
you
you do?
what do you want me to do?
It's like, damn, you said he said what? Oh no, that's unfortunate.
But he had 150 for 8 catches and a touchdown. So I don't know what he said, to be honest with you. I think it was AI.
Right.
So yeah, Will Smith. Look at it. Tell me what you think. I'm just saying, people. Now the NFL has announced that the Pro Bowl is officially done, finito, and I'm here to say we do not care.
We don't give a damn.
Not a single fiddly bit.
But there is a level. I told you in the group chat earlier. I'm like, this is kind of low key pathetic if you think about it. Like
Really is.
the most popular sport in North America, literally in North America, because I mean, well, technically outside of Mexico, but like in most of North America, the most popular sport easily, and it has the one area of the game that they just could not figure out was the All Star game. They just couldn't get it right for whatever reason. Well, we know why, because it's a contact sport, and we say that, but it's like there was a time when Pro Bowl was tuned in television. Niggas was in Hawaii in Aloha Stadium fucking each other up. Sean Taylor, even though maybe that was more, looking back, maybe that was more of an anomaly, like the Sean Taylor Pro Bowl. I feel
Absolutely was an anomaly. But dudes
like
were actually out there playing.
somewhat playing actual football as opposed to whatever it turned into over the last 10 years, and like we all know, like once it left Hawaii, that was kind of the beginning of the end.
Yeah,
But
when they left Hawaii to go to Orlando, it was no Miami first. I think it was
no, it
Miami.
was Orlando. They never went to
Was
Miami.
It was Orlando? Like, what are we doing?
We knew
Part
that.
of part of the allure of the Pro Bowl was it being in Hawaii. It was the location. Players wanted to take their family on a vacation and have an excuse to do it.
And it was a week before the Super Bowl, so you would. Well, it used to be after the Super Bowl, which is even crazier because people would still tune in. That's how good it kind of sort of still was. Where it's like after the Super Bowl's over, everybody's down in Hawaii chilling, and then they moved it to the week before the Super Bowl because I guess for calendar purposes, and it was good for a couple of years, but then we all kind of remember like what game it was. Like we said, they moved it to Orlando. Then they tried to do like the NBA game and move it to different cities, and then they just went back to, hey, it's just going to be in Orlando, and it just kept getting worse. And then you would have people that would get hurt and like go out. So then you would have people that clearly, like Shador Sanders making a Pro Bowl, for example, because three people called
Because
out. So now we
three
don't
people,
have anybody,
and we have to bring somebody.
and so that's when you kind of knew, like, yeah, it's done for.
And once the actual football game became a joke, see, and this is where our lack of funness on TV and all of that come into play. Because back when we were kids, the NFL had so much other entertaining things that weren't football. You remember the reality show Madden Nation?
I believe so. Yes,
I
yes.
it was basic.
Obviously,
It was basically a bunch of dudes on a tour bus playing Madden.
And
That
then
was
now, obviously we got like Hard Knocks, and then you got off season Hard Knocks, and then you got playoff Hard Knocks. So like,
it's it's stupid, and I blame it all on Skip Bayless and Stephen A. for debatifying ESPN and all the other sport networks.
mhm.
Like, why can we not just turn this into old Madden '05 mini camp games? Why we don't have
I think
quarterback?
COVID ruined that because there was a chance we could have did that if COVID never happened. But when everybody was doing it during COVID, it ruined it. And it's like we never want to do that again.
Because I'm like, I feel like I really enjoyed watching the guys do dodgeball. I
I think that
lost.
was part of it. It just felt like there was nothing they could do.
It felt so forced because we took the fun out of everything. ESPN isn't a fun network anymore. Everything is
Yeah.
just arguing over nothing. There's
And then
no more
ring culture further messed everything up.
there's no more game shows like Stump the Schwab where your only goal was to beat this asshole of a sports fan who's a know-it-all. There's no more Sports Nation where we just watched funny videos from around the world that sometimes had nothing to do with sports.
Right. Like
There-
it's just like you said, it took the fun out of everything. And then because ring culture, everything is about hey, if you either win a ring or you're a loser. There's no middle ground anymore with anything. And so people whatever. And then like you said, nobody is willing to kill themselves in an all-star game
It's the only
because even when Sean Taylor was doing it, people were trying to tell him to chill out. So like
I
you
can't
know,
I can't remember where I heard it from. It's been so long, but someone brought up the point is football is such a dangerous, stupid game that we are the only sport that actively has their all star game after the season.
exactly. Which
Because
hockey, I would argue, is football on skates, and they still have it in the middle of the year.
hockey is physical, don't get me wrong, but the big hockey hits that you see, in highlights and stuff like that, they don't happen as often as you think.
Right. But
They're just highlights. Like hockey, physicality wise, I'd say is a tad step closer to basketball than it is football. It's mainly because there's ice
yeah, there's ice and you're skating around and you play 82 games, so that wear and tear is gonna.
and their blades. I would say the padding is more for the surface and the things around you opposed to the actual physicality of the game.
Right. Now, who the
Now,
fuck
hockey, they
allowed
do have
82 games?
fights for that.
Who the fuck allowed 82 games in a hockey
And
season? I
that's
need to
another
speak to
thing.
them. They need to
You,
be
you
fired.
you can't have you can't tell me it's football level physicality when you play 82 of them bitches. 82 of them
Well, no,
things.
they shouldn't be playing 82. That's the thing I'm
No,
saying.
they shouldn't. But the fact that you can still play like 40 and not fall apart, what would happen if we played 40 NFL games?
We're about to find out. We're getting pretty close. Like, it
Yeah,
seems like it's football on every day of the week now.
you're not wrong. You are not wrong.
We're almost at 20, so we're halfway there.
But I don't see how we could
Which is
bring.
the other reason that they canceled the All Star game, I would think, because they keep adding football games.
I can't see a world where the Pro Bowl is Pro Bowl again.
And that's what they said. Now it's just going to be an honor. It's
It,
just something
now,
you get. Which I'm
now,
like, what's the difference at this point? That if they're going to do that, then what's the point of? You might as well just Pro Bowl would be different than All Pro. Like how are they going to do? Like
I, so at this point, what are we doing? It's just the football ESPYS.
right. Like, are they going to count that towards your Hall of Fame? Because Pro Bowls used to matter for like Hall of Fame and stuff. Like, oh, Ray Lewis is like a 13-time Pro Bowler. At least 10 of them actually matter. Whereas now, Patrick Mahomes, if he gets in the, oh, well, he's a 15-time Pro Bowler. Only like 7 of them actually were like,
Were actually games, and then
or like 5 maybe.
you have to think about the guys who have Pro Bowls because nobody wanted to do it. Like
Right.
Shador, it's year 2. We're not putting too much on his name, but uh, he has
Shador got in with one of the worst quarterback ratings in the history of the NFL.
Shador has a Pro Bowl to add to his resume. Like this,
Like, it's
he
disgusting. Johnny
you can
Manziel
say,
has been a Pro Bowler.
You can say at this point in his career, Shador is more decorated than Aaron Rodgers.
which is crazy to think
And
about. I
that's
mean,
a
more,
crazy statement to make, but it is factually true.
you know. So yes, the Pro Bowl needed to go,
The Pro Bowl needed to go, and at
but
this
it's
point,
sad. Again, it is sad.
Shador is technically more decorated than Aaron Rodgers at this point of their
2 years
careers.
in, yeah.
But hey, that's the D1 Ignant news for your ass today. Scully, you got any final thoughts to the people before we head on out?
Yes, this nigga's going on a boat, y'all. This nigga's going on a boat. He's 30 years old and immediately is hitting the water. That is, we love to see it. We love to see black people in the water.
Get your
Stop.
ass in the pool. It's hot out there.
Well, until Labor Day, anyway. And then also, college football is back, y'all. We finally made it. We finally made it. We finally made it. College football is we are officially on countdown for week 0 because Thursday night is when it starts.
True. True. We here for week 0. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still sad. Your boy is old. Your
Boy,
boy's
30 is not old. Stop.
So what you should do is you should watch, subscribe, send a message to your boy on all social platforms. Hit me up on my personal one on Twitter. You know I'm Adidas King 5. I respond to everybody, I promise. Hey y'all, I'm 30. I'm sad, but we still ignorant. So
Motherfucker, you look 30.
motherfucker, you look 30. Oh, like I love to say at the end, hey, Denzel couldn't have done Bad Boys. Denzel couldn't have done Bad Boys. He could have been captain. Denzel could have been captain. Anyway, like I love to say at the end of every episode, keep learning, keep living, and we out. No JJ, I'm hitting the button. Peace.